You have people who always find fault. In every solution, they find another problem. Such people are pathological because they are so focused on the negative or negativity that they can't perceive there's also good out there. Well, whatever solution works, whether it's therapy or they need to go through exorcism, they need to do it in order to become better. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm informing you, Saint, that you need to righteously judge those around you. There's a difference between fault finding, narcissistic fault finding. That means you always look for something to complain about other people, to feel superior or to have some leverage over them. But some people are that way. You always want something that's faulty about you, or some minus point about you to throw into your face anytime they're angry with you, or they want some type of knowledge about you that they can use at your expense. That's why they're so quick to find faults, or they're very picky with you. I'm not talking about that. That's narcissistic fault finding, and we shouldn't have that attitude to begin with. There's a difference between narcissistic fault finding and righteously judging people. For example, if someone enters a room and they don't say hi, they just shake their head and they continue to walk. Now, what's going on? The individual did greet others, he just didn't use his voice. Now, why didn't he use his voice? It can be that he has a sore throat. So his voice is a bit ruined at the moment. So that's why he didn't use his voice. Or it can be that he's a bit autistic or a bit shocked at this moment. That's why he's a bit shy of social interactions, so he only nodded towards people. There can be various reasons. It doesn't have to be this arrogant and thinks, you know what, I don't have to greet anyone. Who are you? You're not important. It doesn't have to be that. But someone that's in narcissistic fault finding, they'll see that and think, oh, why didn't he give in to what we expect? Is he too good or too important to give in to what we expect? But here's the thing. What you expect, is it correct? Is it applicable to the situation? A lot of people don't even examine their own expectations. They just expect you to give in to what they expect because they expect it. And when you don't, you're rude. They get upset and they think they're entitled to develop bitterness against you. That's the dumb attitude a lot of folks have out there, and that's common amongst fallen mankind. But someone who judges righteously will look at the individual and say, okay, this individual only nodded, he didn't say hi. If he didn't even nod it, then it will be an issue. If he ignored everyone else because he was going through something and he didn't even notice other people, that's different. That's an incident. But if he always ignores other people and just does his thing, that means there's an antisocial tendency in the individual. Then you make a judgment based on facts, on factual observation, not on your feelings, nor based on your expectations. Okay? Or let's say that someone is always on time. Always, very punctual. You, based on society's expectation, will say, oh, that's a reliable individual. But someone that judges righteously will think, okay, this individual is always on time. Okay? To be on time, they may arrive an hour too early just to make sure they're on time. But I notice that anytime there's a delay in traffic, he tends to go into distress. He tends to lose his mind. They realize, hold on a minute, this is not something praiseworthy. Just because he's always on time, that makes people happy because that's according to people's expectation. Just because he gives in to people's expectation doesn't mean he's healthy. He or she needs help because they're clinging so much onto being validated as a punctual individual that anytime they have to be flexible, they lose it. So they're not reliable. They're not even healthy. Okay, that's a righteous judgment. Look, a righteous judgment is looking at the facts, looking at the evidence, looking at the proof, and also looking at the context to figure out, okay, what's going on. If you lack knowledge to decide what goes on, you ask for the second opinion of others, or you ask an expert, or you go online and look for information. That's righteous judgment. Righteous judgment implies being humble. That means you don't have all the answers and you don't understand everything. Okay? But righteous judgment requires humility and being realistic. A lot of folks prefer to just have expectations and cling on to them, and when anything that doesn't match your expectations is bullshit, it doesn't exist. That's how a lot of folks are. They have expectations, they don't examine them, They don't even ask themselves, why do I expect this? Or why do I feel this way? They just expect it. And anything that doesn't match expectations, to them, is bullshit. It doesn't exist. They have a tunnel vision. That's very common in the world. Look, when people have a tunnel vision, they are more likely to participate in smear campaigns. They are more likely to sell you out. They are more likely to comply with evil and evildoers than someone who's flexible and willing to self-reflect and examine whatever situation you're in. So, judge righteously. Don't just make judgments based on expectations or feelings you haven't examined. Be at peace.